To the people who have keyboard clicking sounds on their phone, what's your reasoning for not turning it off? My parents both have the vibration and sound on for typing because they say it feels more tactile. They can feel when they hit a letter, so it's easier for them to catch typos. Biofeedback is so important when it comes to buttons. Having vibration on makes typing way quicker, and it just shows cause I wrote this under 30 seconds. Edit. This edit took 16 days. I am distracted from NNN edit. This took 10 years. I am now 2 years old. MX Brown and MX Blue Gang reporting in. A man of culture, I see. I don't have the sounds, but vibration set to very low, which makes a slight noise. Not sure if that counts, but here goes. It makes me way faster and accurate. I really need the feedback, it just gets so messy when I try typing without it. Also I'm Swiss, and Swiss German is not a written language, so we don't have any autocorrect or anything. I already make too maybe mistakes as it is, so I take everything I can. I'm surprised I had to scroll so far to see someone mention this, but I find it improves my accuracy as well. That being said, I've had my phone on silent since 2013, so I don't get that benefit anymore. I love my phone on silent all the time until I misplace it and can't make calls to find where my phone is lying around. So the people filming my drama TV show know I'm typing. Do you always walk around with a baguette hanging out of your shopping bag so your audience knows it is groceries? Naturally. I always hold a football when watching football in case someone is filming me for a commercial. What show do you star in, my friend? It's called That One Guy, and it's about me increasingly dramatic about smaller and smaller things until I have a mental breakdown because my dog didn't want to sleep on the bed with me. Why do I love this comment so much? Cause it's relatable. This is the truth and I don't like it. Please stop it now. I have a shitty phone. Sometimes I type too fast and it causes the phone to stall. When I'm typing and suddenly vibrations stop, I know that I need to pause so that it can process the input I've given it. Nothing's more satisfying than seeing like 3 words rapidly appearing on the phone and all the click sounds and vibrations coming at the same time. This and typing them perfectly. I started using a swipe keyboard because I couldn't type a single word properly on the default Apple keyboard. Like, I would misspell something, delete it, misspell it again, delete it, misspell it a third time. I think the breaking point was when I threw my phone. I find swipe much faster, though I am plagued by the same few typos. Swipo. As a bicycle shop owner, I often swipe the word bike, which swipos as boner. Customers rarely appreciate my text informing them that I have the perfect boner for them, that this boner will be a perfect fit, and that frequently women don't enjoy writing because they are using a boner that is just too big, and that they'll enjoy writing a boner that is actually designed to fit women better, like mine. Holy shit, this made me smile. My Google keyboard mistakes are nowhere near as funny. I've had fuck come out at inappropriate times, but mostly the word NR, which is definitely not something I taught it, and induces a major heart attack every time it happens. You can remove it from the suggestion by holding down your finger over the word in the suggestion bar until it offers to delete it. I normally just keep the phone on silent so it doesn't matter. Also NGL, it's kinda satisfying, so when I turn off silent, it's just a fun bonus. I honestly don't even know what my ringtone is because I never turn silent off. Mine is an eerie theremin sound, but since my phone is always silenced, it only kicks on when I have Bluetooth headphones on. I'll be listening to a podcast, then suddenly there's this sound in my ears. I could probably change it, but I think it's kinda funny. Same except it's Diane's All Rings Considered ringtone from BoJack Horseman. I get super tense now when All Things Considered comes on the radio because I'm so used to hearing it suddenly overwhelmingly loudly instead of whatever podcast I am listening to. Are you my wife? I could be bleeding out in the street and she still wouldn't answer the phone. LOL obligatory edit. Jesus Christ, gold? My wife tutted and said I don't deserve gold for picking on her. LOL thanks, kind Redditor. Emergency bypass is your friend. Tell me more please. iOS. Open a contact and go to edit ringtone emergency bypass. No matter what, phone silent, DND, whatever. It'll ring for that person. Edit. JFCI was just being helpful. Thanks for the gold, kind strangers. If I'm around other people, I silence it because I can imagine it's annoying to others. However, if I'm by myself, I keep it on because I quite enjoy the sound. I appreciate you for being considerate. Me too. A lot of people in this thread apparently like it so much they don't care how annoying it is for the people around them. Those people are called dicks. Since I first started using computer keyboards in the 80s, there has always been some kind of clicking noise and tactile feeling as I press each key. From Apple IIs, to Epsons, to Compacts, to Gateways, to touch-tone phones, to the Motorola Brick, to OG Nokias, and on up to my Razer. There has always been a physical button and/or some kind of associated noise when using keyboards. With the advent of touchscreens, it just doesn't feel right to not have a physical button or any sound. So I leave the clicks on. I have the haptic feedback, but no click sound. I do miss having a tactile keyboard though. I was able to write a full-on novel in minutes when phones had physical full QWERTY keyboards. Wish they still at least made phones like the Samsung Galaxy Slide. I don't know how to turn it off, and I don't really like it. I'm on an iPhone 6, yes it gets old, but it does the job. Can you tell me how to turn it off? Go to settings, then go to sounds and scroll down until you find keyboard clicks, and there you can turn it off. Thank you so much. This was what I was hoping for on this question. Just people not knowing how. Why would you not Google this? I can hear my butt dial. Seriously, if my phone's in my pocket and I hear those sounds, then I can intercept whatever is about to happen. I've never understood this. I have a co-worker who always butt dials other people. I don't get how this happens. I have never once butt dialed someone with a touchscreen. I've never even managed to unlock my phone. You could try locking your phone though, right? The butt can unlock it. The butt will not be thwarted by your petty mortal contraptions. There was some motherfucker I used to work with who had the dripping water sound effect on his keyboard. So annoying. I was ready to become a newly minted murderer that day. Worse than the clicking is when they also have text sounds on. So they sit there on a quiet train and go click 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 womp as the text sends bring as the person replies instantly click 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 womp. It's like, why the fuck do you need sound on? You're staring at the fucking phone screen and having an instantaneous convo with someone. You can literally see them typing back to you. You're not going to miss their response that's coming in 1 second. Disregard for others. Most likely. I'm the exact opposite of this person. My phone never makes a sound. Permanently on vibrate. My smartwatch vibrates and I can read the texts I get or decline phone calls. After doing this for 2 years, people who have unreasonably loud ringtones, obnoxious default ringtones, or clicky sounds when they type are like nails on a chalkboard. It's like smoking in public. Me too. The only reason I wear a fitness watch is to have a phone alerter strapped to my body. If the speaker stopped working on my phone, it'd probably be weeks before I noticed. Yeah, mine is also a fitness watch, and I only ever have to charge it once every week and a half. I was using an Amazfit Fitbit and got about 2 months between charges, but recently changed to an Amazfit GTS and about 30 days with it. I tried a Wear OS watch, but struggled to get 1 full day out of it. Screw that. To know if I accidentally left my phone on ringer instead of vibrate. Sometimes certain apps or videos only play on ringer. When I hear keyboard clicks, it reminds me to turn phone back on vibrate. Look for the symbol that tells you if your phone is on silent on the display. iPhone doesn't have that. Well, that sucks. I haven't had an iPhone since the 3G, so wasn't aware of that. About 10 years ago, I was on the Eurostar coming back from Paris playing a Tetris type game on my Nintendo DS. I normally left the sound on at home because I enjoyed the satisfying little clicks, but I always silenced it outside. That day I had been playing for over an hour, my earphones hooked to my MP3 player, loud enough to cover the train noise, and I assumed my 3DS on mute. Suddenly my earphone fell out, and I realized I had left the game sound on, quite loud. I had annoyed everyone for over an hour. I still think about it. You know when you're about to fall asleep and your brain comes up with wrong things you've done and makes you cringe? Yup, mine, one of, is that. So maybe people are not being dicks, maybe they just didn't realize sound was on. Damn. I would have been the passive-aggressive douchebag throwing glances at you and silently judging. Of course, I wouldn't actually confront you about it. When I first got my phone, I enjoyed the sound, so I didn't turn it off. A friend of mine was so baffled and annoyed she outright stole my phone from my hand just so that she could edit my setting herself. I'm lazy and have never bothered to change it back. She just saved you from hundreds of silent angry stares in public places. What a hero. There is actual engineering effort that goes into picking the right sound. You want it to resonate in the phone so it feels like you're punching a real mechanism rather than just touching your fingers to glass. Punch the keys, for God's sake. I also have a mechanical keyboard for my PC. It just sounds natural to me. Yeah, obviously most people turn it off because they need to use their phone when there are other people around. But how can OP not get why some people would keep it? It's just so satisfying. Of course, if you mostly use your phone by yourself, you'll keep it, no way. I use my phone away from other people most of the time. I hate the fake clicking sound. It's one of the first things I do after buying a new phone is go into settings and turn that off. To each his own though. OP could also be talking about the types of people who type incredibly fast to the point the clicking sound is no longer clicking, but rather the sound of a quiet engine. I use the sound, but I type really fast. Granted, if I'm typing for a long time, then rapid clicking does get a bit annoying. I turn the keyboard sounds off as part of setting up my phone. There is no need unless you have a visual impairment or some other kind of issue, which means it's difficult for you to operate a phone without the sounds to confirm each touch. But also, that's what haptic feedback is for. So unless you have something going on that impacts your vision and ability to feel vibration through your hands and fingers, there is no need for it. Plus, I think at least half the people who keep the sounds on and then have text discussions forget most people find it annoying or only plan to send one more text but sit there for everyone's whole journey, clicking away and getting sound alerts when they haven't even out down their damn phones. I don't keep it at all. Alone or not. Because they're probably specifically talking about the monks that use it in public. I didn't realize how annoying it could be to others until I was in a very quiet waiting room with mine on, and I could feel the stares. I'd be way too lazy to constantly change it. I always forget to change silent loud mode, even so my phone is permanently on silent. I have an app that automatically changes my volume setting based on the time of day. When I leave for work it switches to silent, and when I get home the volume turns back on. It solves the problem of needing my phone to be on silent in public versus needing volume on at home, so I don't miss calls, text when my phone is in the other room. Very nice. My daily schedule is sadly too irregular for that. I wish my co-worker was thoughtful like that. I have to hear every time she texts someone. And she's just a generally loud person who has to be loud with everything she does. It's called leprechaun popcorn in the source code. I don't use it because I always keep my phone quiet, but I love hearing that sound. Tap 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 tap. For some reason I thought that I had keyboard sounds on, but made sure to pay attention when I typed this reply. My phone does not click when I type, but it does vibrate when I type. It's so weird that my brain registers it as a sound. I too am older than dirt. I agree about clicky nostalgia, but one thing I don't miss from the Stone Age is tearing the little holes off the sides of my printer paper. Never failed to destroy at least one page of my assignment. Oh man, I do miss tearing those. It's probably the same impulse as popping bubble wrap or peeling rubber cement off a glossy envelope. It's just so fucking satisfying. We had those printers in high school. I went back to college a few years ago, and printing off a freshly completed paper just isn't as satisfying when you don't have to tear off the edges, separate the pages, gather them up into a neat stack, and staple. They're already in a neat stack upon exiting the printer now. So lame. Yes, and once you get good at it, you can do multiple pages at the same time. My sister keeps it on because she says it reminds her of old phones with hard buttons. Old phones with hard buttons that you could type on? Kids these days. Never used a BlackBerry, have you? They were commenting on the irony of a BlackBerry being described as an old phone, as opposed to something like the wall-mounted rotary dial that many of us grew up with. Oh lordy, my age is showing. When I hear old phone with buttons, I think of this. I genuinely didn't know it bothers people because the sound is relaxing and satisfying to me. Now I'll always be self-conscious about having it on. Edit. I always put my phone on silent if I'm in public though. Don't be self-conscious if you're considerate enough of others to turn it off. If it's a quick message or two, most people won't care. It gets annoying when it's a dialogue for an entire train bus journey and everyone else is silent. It's just being aware of your environment, which it sounds like you already are. My wife uses the sounds and it drives me insane. I swear that's the only reason she hasn't switched it off. My boyfriend and I leave ours on. Don't mind it at all. iPhone has really nice typing sounds in my opinion, like little popping bubbles. I don't mind his either. My old phone had terrible typing sounds though. It sounded like a typewriter or something, and I always turned it off. I would turn it off in public regardless, since it seems like a lot of people hate it. The great thing about this phone is that it's ridiculously easy to just turn it off by using the silent switch. Sorry, this is my first time with this phone, and I'm quite enjoying it. It gives me closed-loop feedback on typing while my vibro is short-circuited and basically dead, and the phone is old enough to have no spare parts available. I'm on a Galaxy S5. What phone do you have? It's OnePlus 3T. You can't find parts for that? I have a OnePlus 3 and can still find parts for it. Weird. Well, I should probably say I tried one Roddy Shack at my shithole and didn't even bother to check internet resources. Teach me this magic. How do you turn them off? Google is your friend in these situations. Search for how to turn off key clicks on insert your phone here. Settings. Under sounds or keyboard. Thanks. You're welcome. Looking at settings menus and options can be interesting. You can discover useful features or adjust things to suit you better, and if you don't like it, you can just go to settings and change it back. Don't be afraid to look at the settings. Everything is reversible if you accidentally select something. It helps to know what you were looking at, but even if you're not sure, you can get someone else to reverse it if you explain what changed and how. The better question is, why is this the default? The defaults rarely make sense on any system I've used. Undoing the stupid defaults is a good way to get acquainted with the system when you change devices though. Because it should be. If I'm not mistaken, the stock iOS keyboard doesn't have haptic feedback. If that's the case, then there would be no feedback when typing and every single non-tech-savvy iPhone user would be complaining to Apple about their keyboard. That's for iPhones. I'm pretty sure most, if not all, Android phones have haptic feedback stock, but I bet the non-tech-savvy Android users would also complain about the lack of that annoying ass clicking sound. I always have my sound off. Always. I mean, my siblings always have sound on or do something obnoxious, and I hate it. And I don't want to be obnoxious too, so I just keep it off. My little brother always watches YouTube videos underneath my bed, but he always has the sound at max. It's irritating because 1. He thinks no one can hear him, and so he laughs at the YouTube video and turns the volume of his weird YouTube videos even louder too. It's my room, go to your room, idiot. And whenever I'm trying to do homework, it's even harder to concentrate. Even when I'm playing games, he's right there under the bed. My brother closest to my age and I share a room while the other 3 have the other room, and it got to the point where we made a sign at the door dating that they could not come in since they never had a real reason. Of course, he ignored it, said something that a 3-year-old would say, and waltzed in anyways. My parents refused to enforce it, so every now and then I just kick him out. Anywho, the sound is irritating. Also, when people yell at their phones or something. Turn off the typing noises if it's going to irritate someone, which it will. Don't be that retard.
Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Tell me what you dislike or love about this video, so please comment below and hit the bell icon so you're notified anytime a new video is released. This is a WeCrow Media production.